LFA 125, Amorim versus Young main card prediction, or you can say full card prediction. But we're not going to be looking at those amateur MMA fights, and we're not going to look at Zach Zane versus Guilherme Faria because it literally just got announced on the card about 25 minutes ago. I had no time to really research that fight, so we're only going to do Michael Stagg, Ashley Nichols, Adam Fugitt, Jaqueline Amorim, Loveth Young, Solomon Renfro, Hilarie Rose, and Caio Gregorio. Michael Stagg is a guy that only lost to Kai Kamaka. Hilarie Rose fought on the Contender Series. Solomon Renfro fought on the Contender Series. Adam Fugitt is a champion. I believe it's like X1. X1 World Events is the promotion he's the champion in. Loveth Young, Jaqueline Amorim, future UFC fighters, one of them, whoever does win that fight. So it's a very solid card in my opinion. But yeah, let's get into the predictions. We go on first to the LFA featherweight division. Michael Stagg and Caio Gregorio in the featherweight division. I'm going to say it right now. If you look at the betting odds, Michael Stagg's a pretty big favorite. Even on those Tapology predictions, Michael Stagg's a good favorite. I think it's a pick'em. I think it's a 50-50 fight. It could definitely go either way because Caio Gregorio has the grappling advantage. Caio Gregorio does, in my opinion, have the explosiveness on the feet and have the power advantage on the feet as well. Michael Stagg does have the wrestling advantage. So there's two outcomes to this fight I can definitely see. I can see Michael Stagg going out there, taking the fight down over and over and over again, wrestling to a 30-27 decision win. I can see Michael going out there, getting the takedown and getting submitted by Caio Gregorio because he is the better jiu-jitsu guy. And I can also see Caio just landing a huge shot on the feet and knocking out Michael Stagg. So if Caio's going to win, it's going to be a finish. If Michael Stagg's going to win, it is going to be a decision. Definitely a pick'em 50-50 fight in my opinion. Overall, I'm going to go Michael Stagg by decision, but it's not one I'm going to be super confident in. I'm going to go him to win because he's the better wrestler, has decent jiu-jitsu, solid striking as well. But there's a very good shot Caio can pull off that submission and maybe even land another flying knee like he did 3 years ago against Thiago Rodriguez. But it's a solid fight here in the featherweight division. I got Stagg by a very close 29-28 decision. Ashley Nichols and Hilarie Rose in the women's strawweight division. 29 years old and then 35 years old. There is one thing you gotta look at. It's gonna be the height and the reach. Ashley Nichols having a 4-inch height advantage, and I'm not too sure what the reach advantage is going to be, but I assume she's definitely going to have the advantage there. A very tall, very lengthy striker, likes to land her shots very well down the middle. Nice 1-2, a few kicks every now and then, but she's a very, very, very solid striker. Got good Muay Thai, kickboxing, boxing, wherever you look at it, she's a very, very good striker. The only time she's really losing is if her opponent can find a way to mix in the wrestling and grappling every now and then and not let her land those combinations on the feet. I mean, even against Mallory Martin, she was doing pretty good in that fight. She's been doing very good in her career, getting knockout win in the first round, and then a decision win. Only losing to UFC fighter Randa Marcos, UFC fighter Mallory Martin, and then Sharon Jacobson. So that is not nowhere near bad competition that she's losing to. Hilarie Rose as well, only losing to Cheyenne Velismus, UFC fighter, and then Elise Reed, a UFC fighter. But Ashley Nichols is going to be the better striker in my opinion. Hilarie Rose, I would say, needs to go out there with a wrestling and grappling game plan. She can definitely do that. She does have some decent wrestling and grappling, having a couple of submission wins on her record right there. Submission win, guillotine, and then ground upon TKO win, with one win on the feet by a leg kick KO. But this fight needs to go to the ground for Hilarie Rose. I don't see it happening. I see this fight staying on the feet where Ashley Nichols has the advantage. If Cheyenne wasn't able to finish, Elise Reed was able to finish, but I think this one's going to stay on the feet. The only reason Elise was able to finish is because she was able to land those elbows and keep on landing them on the ground. I think this is going to be a striking fight, and if it is, Hilarie will kind of succumb to a lot of that pressure, but she will be able to survive, in my opinion, for at least those 15 minutes. So my prediction here in the women's strawweight division, Ashley Nichols winning in the striking portion of this fight and winning by a 30-27 unanimous decision. Adam Fugitt and Solomon Renfro in the welterweight division. Solomon, he's been losing to beast. I mean, Mike Mallet was his first ever professional MMA loss. That dude is a legit grappler from Canada. I mean, that dude has wicked fast submission skills, getting, oh my god, amazing submissions on the Contender Series. Probably gonna get good submissions in the UFC as well. He went after that fight, he got really good wins. Knockout win over Nick Ali, knockout win over Leah Henry Lilly. Then he got on the Contender Series. I do think he won the fight against Johnny Parsons. I think Solomon Renfro should be fighting in the UFC for right now, but they gave it to Johnny Parsons for some reason. I'm really not too sure why, but Solomon's a legit guy, very powerful, very small for the welterweight division at 5'9" inches tall, but he's very strong, has a good double-A takedown, very good power in his hands. Adam Fugitt, he's an overall, I would say, average fighter wherever you look at it. He's not necessarily like a really good striker, really good grappler, really good wrestler. He's an average fighter wherever you look at the fight. I would say if he's gonna win here, he's got to mix in the grappling, look for some submissions like Mike Mallet did in their fight, but overall, I think it's going to be a striking fight. Solomon with the power advantage, with the speed advantage, and things like that. I think he's going to get the knockout. Adam Fugitt has been knocked out in the past, like in the Kylon Hill fight. Kylon Hill's a very solid guy, because his only losses are to Impa Kazanganai, AJ Dobson, but still, he did get knocked out on that fight. Solomon Renfro is looking to get back in the UFC, maybe back on the Contender Series, put his name back in the hat for that UFC fight. So I think he's gonna go out there looking for that finish. Adam being finished in his fourth to last fight. I think we're gonna see a finish here. Solomon Renfro using his boxing, landing a crisp right hand in the first or second round. Solomon Renfro by a knockout. Jaqueline Amorim and Loveth Young in the women's strawweight division. No idea. I've done this prediction so many times in the past. I mean, I might be over-exaggerating, because it was only actually scheduled one other time, but it feels like I've done this fight over and over and over again. But it was scheduled for LFA 118, for the LFA vacant strawweight belt. Fight did not meet California's sanctioning requirements. I don't know why. I'm still like looking at that. I'm like, why was it not actually scheduled? I really have no idea. But overall, Jaqueline is going to be the grappler, going out there hitting really good submission wins, 3 first round submissions in a row, then knocking out Megan Owen with the striking. Loveth Young needs the fight to stay on the feet. Jaqueline Amorim needs the fight to hit the ground. I do believe this is going to be a very, very close fight. Not in terms of like if the fight actually starts happening. I don't think it's going to be like a 29-28 decision or anything like that. I think whoever wins, it's going to be an absolute domination. But it's such a hard fight to predict. If Loveth Young wins, it's going to be a dominant striking show. She's going to knock out Jaqueline Amorim. If Jaqueline Amorim wins, it's going to be a dominant grappling show. She's going to get the fight down, and she's going to submit Loveth Young right here. So it's so hard to predict here. I'm going to go Jaqueline Amorim. I think her striking has been getting much, much better in her last few fights. I mean, that 10-second knockout was very good. She's had a big break in between then. I know she's been scheduled to fight Loveth Young for a while. That's a long time for her to be polishing up that striking, making the striking a lot more even so that maybe she can keep it even on the feet and maybe mix in that grappling as well. It is 5 rounds. 5 rounds is a lot of time for Jaqueline to snatch up a submission. So I'm saying maybe like a 3rd round submission here for Jaqueline Amorim in the women's strawweight division. Yeah, that is my full card prediction. I got Jaqueline Amorim by submission, Solomon Renfro by knockout, Ashley Nichols by a decision, and then Michael Stack by a decision. Solid fight card there for LFA 125. Make sure you guys put your predictions down below. If you guys disagree with any of mine, put what you think in the comment section below, why you think it, and why I should change my opinion as well. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications. Thank you guys for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Let's go.